Now, if you guys listen to my channel, you know I am 100% honest. I give my honest opinions. I don't try to sugarcoat anything. I don't try to fanboy for anything. I just give my honest opinions. Now, with that being said, the Xbox Bethesda Games Showcase is done. You know, we're always hyped for these huge shows, and it's over with. It's finally over with. So I want to give you guys my honest opinions about it. Now, first off, I will say this. I thought the show started off pretty strong. I thought the show ended pretty strong. Somewhere in the middle, the show kind of lost me. I got extremely frustrated with some of the titles that they showed. But Xbox decided to do a strategy of only showing games that's coming out within the next 12 months. That's fine. No, that's the strategy they decided to do. That might have hurt the overall show, but the show was still okay. Now, I will say this. Let me get this out of the way. Xbox doesn't have any huge AAA games coming in 2022. So the delay for Starfield and Redfall, they didn't really have a huge backup plan. Forza Motorsport is dropping in early 2023. So that's one game we thought that might come out in 2022. Obviously is not. So let's get that out of the way. They have a couple titles I'm interested in this year, like As Dust Falls. I'm very interested in that title, and some other smaller games. But I want to say this. Redfall, I love how Redfall looks. I love Arcane Studios. I'm very interested in that game. I think Redfall looks great. Forza Motorsport. Now look, I'm going to be honest, guys. Anybody that was bragging about Gran Turismo, saying Gran Turismo was going to kill Forza Motorsport, do me a favor and shut your ass up. No, Forza Motorsport looks incredible. The game is coming out early 2023, and you know, that's what it is, right? But I liked how they were talking a little shit. They were talking about the in-game ray tracing. They were talking about damage to the cars. Everybody and their mom knows on GT7, damage on the cars is very minimum, and the shit doesn't look right. It just doesn't look right. So yeah, Turn 10, they knew that, and they were talking shit about that. It looks great. Game looks incredible. Also, there is a couple of third-party games that's coming to the platform. A game called is it Wulong from Kaio Tecmo? How you pronounce that? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Now, this seems to be a Bloodborne, Souls type of game, and I believe it's exclusive to Xbox. I believe it's exclusive to Xbox, and that's cool. The Xbox has an exclusive game. This style of game, that's great. You know, it's in the vein of, like I said, you know, Bloodborne, some of those From Software titles. So yeah, I think it looks pretty good. And I'm definitely wanting to try that out. Now, there was a couple games that also interest me. There was like a Rick and Morty game. That game looked pretty damn good. It was you know, it was a cartoony type of game, but it was a first-person shooter where the guns were like alive. They had eyeballs, mouths, and that game looks very interesting. I'm definitely interested in that game. Now, a game like Diablo 4 is not really my boogie, but that is a huge franchise, and I thought it looked pretty good actually. So that game, of course, that game is a multiplat, but it's coming soon. Now, A Plague's Tale Requiem. I love the first Plague's Tale. I'm definitely interested in this one. This one looks good, and yeah, I thought the game looked pretty damn good, and it's going to Gamepass. Now, this game, Pentium. Let's talk about this game for a second. We know this is made by a small team at Obsidian. You know, I would definitely try the game, but this game being at this show, it's kind of let me down. It really let me down. I thought the game didn't look that great. Now, that doesn't mean the game is not going to be great, but it definitely let me down. I was like, oh boy. You know. Now, Riot Games has a partnership with Xbox. They're going to put all of their titles in Game Pass. Now, I don't play League of Legends and all of these different style of games, but these games are huge on PC, and these games are going into Xbox Game Pass, which is a plus, and that's good for them. Also, the Persona games are finally coming into Xbox. Persona 4, Persona 5, and all of that shit. that's pretty good for people that like the Persona games. It's finally coming to Xbox, and you can't be mad about that. If those are not your style of games, it's still coming to Xbox. But like I said, I thought Starfield looked incredible. I thought it looked absolutely incredible. I saw IGN posted something that compared it to No Man's Sky. I guess there are some similarities. I think the only similarities you can say is they're both in space. Because Starfield looks incredible, especially if you love those Bethesda style of games. You should really like what Starfield is going to do. And yeah, so at the end of the day, there were some things about the show I did not like. I did not like Sea of Thieves being there with just a little, I guess it was a singing video. I don't know what the hell it was. That game shouldn't have been there. There was a couple other games I felt shouldn't have been there. I mean, I understand why Sea of Thieves is there. I understand why Grounded is there. But they didn't even show anything on Sea of Thieves except to announce Season 7. Okay, they could have did that on the Tuesday show. Just my opinion. So the show wasn't the greatest show, but it wasn't the worst. It was definitely better than E3 2019 in my opinion, but it wasn't better than last year. Last year they announced a lot more games that was further out. So I guess this year they wanted to focus on gameplay. So that's why they only showed games that was 12 months out. Now, I mentioned already how 2022, it's unfortunate Xbox has no big first party games dropping in the whole year. That's definitely unfortunate, but you always got to look at the positive, and the positive is the first half of 2023 is going to be incredible. Redfall, Starfield, Forza Motorsport, those 3 games alone is going to be in the first half of 2023. Now, they said they're announcing games within the next 12 months, but that's from June to June. Who knows what's going to drop the second half of 2023? Could it be Contraband? Could it be Avowed? Could it be Hellblade 2? Who knows? But they're just focusing on the next 12 months. Some people love it. Some people don't like the strategy. At first, I was like, yeah, maybe they shouldn't have done that. But at the end of the day, they have a plethora of games that's coming to the platform within the next year. Obviously, some multiplats. There's also some third-party games. There's some second-party exclusives like Scorn, the Wulong game. There's another game As Dusk Falls. There's a lot of content they have coming into the service. There's some indie games that's interesting to me. Replaced, Somerville. So yeah, they have a lot of content coming. So if I had to give a score to the show, I would give a show a 7. A 7. Strictly because the beginning was pretty good, the end was pretty good, the middle was underwhelming. The middle of the show was underwhelming. I feel if the show would have been like an hour, they could have got rid of some of those indies or kept those indies for the Tuesday show. Because there was one indie game where there was some people in some mech robots and it was watering gardens and shit. They could have kept that, man. They could have kept that. Some of the indies look good, but some of the indies, they could have kept that for a Tuesday show or some other time. So I thought the show was okay. Like I said, I gave it a 7 out of 10. I'm not going to say it was a great show. It had its moments, but also had its low points. But something I really want to talk about, I already made a video about the whole Kojima thing. Look, Kojima is a legend in this industry. I didn't like his last 2 games. I didn't like Death Stranding. I did not like Metal Gear Solid 5, and I just didn't like it. But because he's such a creative guy, I'm very interested to see what this cloud game he is going to make. What is he going to do with the cloud technology, Microsoft's cloud technology? That's why I'm very curious to see what he's coming up with. And of course, I like to see that because, PlayStation Fanboy said Kojima would never work with Xbox. So yeah, I'm definitely interested to see this. So like I said, the show could have been better. It could have been worse. It was right in the middle for me. But look, the next year looks to be pretty solid with a lot of titles, and hopefully the avalanche of games that Xbox has in development, that starts next year, 2023, and it continues till forever. It's constantly making new titles. The Activision Blizzard deal will most likely be finalized next year. So yeah, there's still a lot to be happy about with the Xbox platform. You know, fanboys are gonna talk shit. PlayStation guys, that's what they do. They talk shit. You know, they said Starfield looks like shit. Of course. What else were they gonna say? What else were they gonna say? They're not gonna say Starfield looks great. They're not honest. So that's about it, guys. I'm about to get out of here, but I know it's not my usual rundown of the show, but I just didn't feel like it. They had too many smaller games that I could care less about to even talk about. So I talked about the games that sparked my interest, and I can't wait, guys. But look, I'm about to get up out of here. And if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you happen to stumble across my channel and you think I'm decent enough, why don't you go ahead and subscribe? And if you subscribe, please hit that notification bell to know when my black ass is doing some new content, baby. All right, everybody. Peace and love. Peace and love. Shit. Damn, man.